Hi, I'm Lottie.
And I'm Mark.
And this is Showtime Shenanigans. Okay, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good too.
I'm glad. How are you guys at home, or wherever you are? Tell us what you're up to.
Yeah, tell us all
Or tell us where you
the
listen to it as well.
shenanigans. Yeah, do you guys listen at bedtimes? Do you listen in the day? Do you watch the video? Do you not?
Do you listen to the pod? Do you listen to it on somewhere?
Wherever it's going to be uploaded, because we don't know yet.
Here's our Instagram and Twitter, please follow.
Fully, definitely Spotify. I think it's on Spotify. We'll find out. Okay.
We can't wait.
Today's episode is about theatres, the buildings.
The buildings.
Not full on like intense facts and like how it was built.
Just some basic.
Just some little things we've picked up on our times.
Things we liked about theatres.
Turn my phone off vibrate. There we go. Okay, we're good. Yeah, things we like about.
Things we like,
theatres.
yeah. Things we like about theatres.
Things we like about theatres.
Okay, go.
But the first thing, I'm going to stop. The first thing we want to say, it needs to be cleared up because people get it wrong, and it's understandable like why they get it wrong, but people always say that Phantom of the Opera is the longest running show in the world.
Musical.
Incorrect. The longest running play, so show, in the world ever is The Mousetrap, which, oh my god, I have it written down, opened on the 25th of November 1952. So she's an oldie, and she's still going, apart from, obviously she stopped at quarantine, but that show was still going since then. So that's the longest running show, because it's a play. The longest running musical, technically, actually, is The Fantastics, who the hell knows what that is, which opened on the 3rd of May 1960, and it ran for 42 years, but it's stopped now. So, but you never hear about that. I've never heard of it in my life until I looked up yesterday the exact date that Phantom opened. I wanted to like double check, and I was like, what's The Fantastics? Who is she? I don't know. But if we're talking musicals, longest running, currently running, all that jazz, Phantom is the longest running on Broadway.
Yanks. In
Broadway history. But in the world, Les Mis, because Les Mis opened on the 8th of October 1985 in the West End. That was its opening shenanigan.
Yeah.
And Phantom opened on the 9th of October 1986. So there's a year in it. But Phantom is not the longest running show in the world.
I think the reason the confusion comes around so often is the fact that Les Mis has closed down but then opened up in a different theatre so like 5 times now.
It keeps it's kept its thing going. Also, it counts.
The record is made by the Guinness Book of World Records. Like it is a legit fact that it is the longest running show.
Yeah, I think that's why it's confusing, because it's changed theatres a few times, but that doesn't count as it closing, because it hasn't actually closed its run. Phantom has stayed in the same theatre for the whole time. On Broadway it's the Majestic, did I say?
Yes.
And West End's Her Majesty's. And
they've been there the whole time it opened. So technically the longest running show in its current theatre is Phantom, but the longest running show in the world currently
is Les Mis. Yeah. So that's that for you. I just wanted to clear that up, because it really annoys me when people are like Phantom, and I'm like, no, it's Les Mis. I'm not biased. I just want it to be correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Onwards then. Woo! Should we do our little extras?
Should do them first?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Shall I go first?
Go for it. Let's do Lottie's key change of the week.
Okay.
Yeah.
This week's key change is I Say No from Heathers, Carrie Hope Fletcher. No. Oh, it's such a good one.
We were talking about in our last video how much we loved this song.
We were. Were we? Oh yeah, because
I think
it was one of my top
unless
recordings.
I cut it out, I'm not sure.
It was one of my it was one of my cast recordings. Was Heathers, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I Say No, because I mean it's a great song, and it was added to the West End recording. It wasn't an original Broadway. In the off-Broadway cast.
Also, it only added like a month. It literally added a week before they closed it on like
the other palace.
At the other palace. Yeah. And it moved, so like
they were just like, Carrie, we have a new song for you, and she was like, oh great, okay. As if Heathers couldn't get any like harder.
Yeah, she was like,
I was gonna say worse then.
Die.
But yeah, I Say No. It's quite a good key change, because it's like he's like the music stops and JD goes, but I love you, and she's like, dude, and it's like bam, and goes up. This is it. Yeah, it's so good. So that is.
Every time that song comes on, we literally go like,
ooh. We're like, whoop, turn it up. Doesn't matter what we're talking about.
Literally, everything stops. No matter how serious the conversation is, that song comes on, it's like, stop everything.
Stop the world, which I think is great. So yeah, that's that. Your fact, I have no idea what it was, but I wrote down that. No I.
Oh, No I in Broadway or the West End.
Yes.
Cool.
What's that?
So this, because you were asking you about this last night. So No I in the West End or Broadway is not just a fact in the spelling of spelling of these things.
As
obviously.
in, no shows begin with the letter I in West End or Broadway.
No, there's not obviously no letter in Broadway or West End there's no word in it that has an I in it. But what it actually is there's no I
as in like word West End and the word Broadway don't have an I. Right, gotcha.
Because that's just logic.
Okay, I was like.
The fact is, if you look in seats rows, there's no row I. This is because when people are booked the front row, they don't think about an A, they think about number 1.
Because it's first
and I look very similar to 1. So lots of people used to complain about the fact that they booked front row tickets, but they're quite far back.
Because they thought they'd booked front row as in like number 1, but they booked I. So they're actually...
Well, they booked A, but they were looking... So they booked row A, which is front row.
But they wanted to be...
In your head, you're like, A, number 1, same thing.
Yeah.
So when they saw the I, they're like, that's row number 1.
Yeah.
And then we're like, hang on a second, this is really far back. So they got rid of every I row in every theatre to save
that confusion, really.
To save confusion.
It is helpful actually, because when we're doing like latecomers and we have to
so it's either it's like A to H
when it's,
and then
when
J
it's like
upwards.
really dark and you're just trying to you're like, that's a row, and you're trying to see if a seat's free. It's really helpful.
Although it is really not, because if you forget that when you're doing latecomers, you forget that you're missing the row I.
You're just looking in the wrong row basically, so you're like, oh, there isn't a seat free.
F, G, H, R, R.
H, J. You just have to consciously remember.
So you kind of send them a row further backwards than you need to, and you're like, wait,
you're like, sorry, you're this one. Yeah.
So that's my little fun fact of the week for you.
That was a good fact, that. I did know that, but I didn't quite know what you meant when I wrote that down.
Yeah.
So that was... I liked that. Okay. And the stress in the dress this week is... Okay, it's a little story time about On Your Feet.
On Your Feet.
I went to see... It was my first show that I saw on my own. No.
Why is all the songs coming out now?
Oh, Jesus, it's a musical episode.
Is it? Really? What a surprise.
Yeah, so I went to see On Your Feet on the 31st of August, not October.
31st
of August, so it was on its last day
closing
in the West End, but I saw it in the matinee, I didn't see the evening. So it's the first time I went to see a show on my own. I just went up to London. Six were doing like a... what's it called? Flash mob.
Flash mob,
So it was like a big dancey thing at the Tower of London, which was great fun. And then I booked a matinee of On Your Feet, so I was like, I want to see it. I don't know if Mark really cares, but I just went up on my own and just did that. So I went to see On Your Feet. I think I was in the dress / royal. I don't think I was at the top. It was at the Coliseum.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was sort of middle of the row, right quite close to the end, quite a few seats in. And there were these two ladies who had massive like afro hair. I think one of them had afro hair. She was sitting right in front of me, and then the other one didn't. But they turned up late for one, which is fine. So they kind of disrupted when they went in. And then, during the whole of the first act, they were nattering, like talking about the show, but really loud. And I was just like, can you not? And they had like pots of like nuts and sweets in plastic pots, which makes such a racket when they're like popping their hands in and like rustling around to like, oh my God, honestly, I was ready to kill someone, but I didn't. I was just like, oh my God, how do you not know that you're making that much noise? And it kind of made it distracting. I mean, I managed to follow on with the show because it was pretty simple to follow along. It wasn't complicated, luckily. And then at the interval, one of them was like, I'm going to the loo, and then she never came back. She never came back in the second act. So the other lady was just like sat on her own in front of me. I think the one with the afro was just she stayed, and she was like sitting there like, okay, and the other lady just didn't turn up. But I also think that they weren't in the right seats, because when they sat down, no, maybe they weren't late. They sat down, and one of them said to the other, they were like, oh, aren't we over there at the back there? And she was like, oh, it doesn't matter, there's no one sitting in these ones, or something like that. Pretty sure they were in the wrong seats, and they knew they were in the wrong seats. So maybe the other lady went to the other seats. I'm not sure, but they were so loud, and it was so annoying. Then the second act, they weren't talking, because there was only one of them. So
second act was lovely. The first act was stress.
I was like, how do you not know you're making that much noise? I don't understand.
But this just comes to a little PSA for everyone here. Don't bring food into the theatre that will on purpose, like not. But just think about it. How loud? Because sometimes you don't realise how loud things are, and that is understandable.
Yeah.
But if you look at this, like the items of sweets and like snacks that confectionery that theatres sell, they're usually in cardboard boxes or like cans.
Yeah, rather than like rustly bag. Like we had
Plastic
a kid come
bags.
in and he had this massive bag of Doritos, and it's all you could hear in the whole of the grand circle. It's all you could hear every time you put your hand in. So just maybe think about, and then when you're crunching crisps as well.
So yeah, bring food that's either quiet, or if you're gonna eat any food like loud or like so crisp or rustle the bag, do it in the interval.
Yeah.
Or before the show, and then if you want to eat something, at least like have it in like a little.
A tub.
Maybe like if you know you want to like bring some crisps, put it in a little plastic tub, and then just put it on your lap, open it up.
Get your snacks ready before you start.
Yeah.
Before the
Same
show
with drinks
starts,
as well.
basically.
Don't open your like fizzy can of Coke.
Boop, it's so loud.
Or your bottle of Coke. Because that's what I always do. I make sure I open it just before the show, just in case I get a little bit thirsty.
Eponina's just dying on stage and someone's like with their can. I think I just spat. I'm really sorry.
So I always make sure I drink. Well, not drink it. I always make sure I open my can or my bottle first before I go in. Before at least when I open it again, it's like.
It's a quieter fizz with the.
Like a little, rather than a.
Yeah. So yeah.
So just be respectful to your surroundings, and also don't bring food that stinks as well, because I went to see Dreamgirls back when I was in the West End, and these people came in late and they brought in I'm sorry, I'm so angry about it still.
He's so angry.
I didn't say
Friggin'.
the word. I stopped myself.
Yeah.
But they brought in pasta with tuna, so tuna pasta, and that
tastes great, but like
it's also really, really hot as well. So that smell was just cooking.
That's grim.
So
I mean, it's prohibited to bring
circle,
certain food.
It is, but they were late
sometimes
anyway.
it gets missed, and yeah, if they were late, it's harder to,
So, please, just don't bring stanky food to the theatre, because I will kill you. If I know you've done it, I will find you, and I will kill you.
Yeah, it's just
also
like,
not
also
respectful
just,
either.
Talking. I was like, what are you doing? I know what's going on.
Once again, another thing, don't bring foods that people can have allergies to. Don't bring nuts to the theatre.
I don't know why she had nuts, unless it was maybe coated. We have nuts. We have like wasabi peanuts.
But they're not like the high risk nuts.
I think they're not. They're peanuts.
Oh.
I don't know, but
maybe. Well, what I'm thinking is don't bring food into the theatre that could cause an allergic reaction, because you don't know who's sat next to you.
Because if the theatre's sold it to you, it's different. But if you bring stuff in, that's why you're not allowed alcohol in, because it's not. You're allowed alcohol in the theatre, but it has to be sold at the theatre.
They don't have license for it otherwise.
That's it. The license. I know it's an L word. Yes. They're not licensed for you to bring in alcohol. That's why. Yeah. Fun fact of the day that was.
So anyway,
we're going to move on because we don't want to rant.
That.
So I'm going to put it in the middle because actually that's really annoying, isn't it?
Well, it's fine now.
I don't know. We're going to just.
Got the sun though. So.
This is our first shenanda badangadang.
Badangawangadang. So, shall I?
You can say the first one if you want.
Cool. So our first one on our list is the Apollo Victoria Theatre, where Wicked is currently showing.
Oh, beautiful.
This is it's just outside the Victoria
This is
station.
why I said I'm going to have it here, because I can
fair
hold
enough.
it.
Cool. So it has, how many seats, Lottie?
2,328 seats.
So the theatre is huge. It is the largest theatre on the West End with seat sizes. I googled it, it's correct.
Say, I know, I'm just... It might not be the largest building, I just mean like
it's the largest auditorium seating.
There we go. It is, in the West End.
So it is the biggest one in the West End.
It's absolutely massive. You walk in and you're like...
But also the architecture in the theatre as well. It's got very nice Art Deco sort of style, and they use that to the benefit, help benefit the Wicked.
Show. Yeah, it's a very green inside.
Yeah, and it's a really, really, really pretty auditorium. So if you get the chance to go to see Wicked, take in the auditorium as well.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the parts we do really well in the UK as well. Our theatres are always really beautiful.
They're beautiful. Our people
because when we went to Broadway, the theatres weren't
They weren't
as
exciting.
cute.
I'm not gonna lie.
They were literally just boxes with seats.
It's like a cinema. Yeah, you've just got loads of seats.
I mean, they paint the walls slightly, or some depends on the theatre as well. Some of them have like nice kind of. Like the August also had the grossest yellow walls.
They don't decorate very well over there. I mean, some might. We only went to 2 theatres, but they haven't decorated.
But the Brooks
as
Acton was nicer, but it wasn't as like.
I can't remember it that well. I'm not.
Ours
a
just have a lot of heritage in it, and they're just really nice.
Yeah, our buildings. Also, theirs are newer because.
True. That's why I said we have heritage. They don't.
Is that the right word?
Well, they have like history behind the buildings.
Yeah, our buildings are old.
Anyway.
Okay, the next thing I was going to mention is the Adelphi. Now, I mean, obviously, this is because of the show that was there. It's too soon. But yeah, Waitress was the show that was at the Adelphi, and they had an oven in the foyer.
Foyer.
Yes, which they baked pies in every day as like a fresh pie every day to make the auditorium, not necessarily the auditorium, make the foyer and the building smell like pie, which was a great touch. I think it's a really nice thing. I assume it was Sarah Bareilles that came up with that idea. Because they did it on Broadway as well. But she said that, I remember her talking about it, because she said originally they tried to get like a synthetic pie smell to like spray or whatever, and she said it just wasn't the same, so they just bake pies every day. And people do eat them, like the cast and the
they eat them on stage.
staff.
So I think they warm them up, bung them in the microwave and warm them up, and it releases the same smell. So
it's like a confectionery oven or something it's called. Confectioner's oven?
Whatever, but
something
they
like
have
that.
that.
But it makes the pie smell, and it makes the whole foyer and everything smell like pie, and it's great. Okay.
Yanks, it's our lovely theatre. This is the theatre we both currently work in. It's beautiful, darling.
Do you even know what I've written?
Yanks.
Okay.
So once again, it's a beautiful theatre. I mean, they're all beautiful.
Cammy Mac takes pride in.
He does, and they are beautiful. All these theatres are stunning.
He chooses every single thing that happens in his theatres. So he designs the whole thing. Not designs, but he picks out every single bit of carpet, wallpaper, the furnishings, how it's painted, what the seats look like, all that. He does every single thing.
He does.
Which a lot of people.
And our favourite thing about the theatre are its beautiful chandeliers and like light fittings, I guess.
Yes. So there's one major chandelier which is up in the ground.
Well,
right at the top.
It's in the auditorium.
Yeah. So you can see it from all the levels, but a lot of people walk to the front of the stalls where the stage is just to look up at the chandelier, which I think is really cute. Yeah. So like when you're selling ice creams down there, you're like, hello, because you're right at the front, and they're like, oh. Yeah, and then the lights in the Queen's Bar and also the foyer, they're like these glass balls.
They have a little like fibre optic
lights inside.
Strings.
They look like little fairies.
Yeah.
But they change colour. Not the ones in the Queen's Bar, but the one in the foyer. They change colour, like blue, reds, and all that jazz. They're really cool.
Yeah.
And I think they were in the theatre before. Definitely in the Queen's Bar. Yeah. I don't know about the foyer, but yeah, I think I just.
So really cool. The next one is also Macintosh Theatre.
Oh, you can talk about that too.
Yeah, because you didn't know about this one, so I thought I kind of shut up about this one.
You remember better.
So the Gielgud Foyer, it's the Sondheim's neighbour theatre. They're built at the same time, just our one got bombed, and that's fine.
In the war, by the way,
not recently.
You know.
Last week, gone.
Imagine.
But so it has this really beautiful. When you go into the foyer, if you look up, it has the most beautiful oval cutout in the ceiling.
Hello. The dog wanted to get involved. Cool. Sorry.
It's the most beautiful oval cut out in the ceiling. It has, obviously, I think you can get up there.
Yeah. I was up there for one of the bars.
So there's a bar up there, and it's just really beautiful, and then just the history, and it's just such a very kind of old looking but very modern, beautiful thing. They're all just beautiful. Just a beautiful thing. I just died.
Belching there. I love that.
Carry on.
The next one.
Oh, it's once again another one.
Another Cammy Mac. Oh, lovely DMT theatres. So the Victoria Palace, which was redone in it opened. Hamilton opened there in 2017, right?
Sure.
So it was redone for that, and they had to postpone it because the building wasn't ready. They had to postpone Hamilton opening by
about a month.
Was it a month?
It was over a month.
That's so funny.
Stress.
But yeah, it's got. I put chandelier, but that's not really what I mean. Oh, she's gone.
See you later, sis.
It's like these lights that go from the top. So where you'd go up if you were going to the grand, but it's in the foyer technically, up to the grand level. It's like these lights, and they're on strings, and they go all the way down through all three levels in this middle bit, and they're all on strings, and it's like little raindrops at the ends of the strings, and they go down and then down and then down, and it's just the coolest thing, and it's so really, really pretty. I'm like, what? We went there for our training, and I was like, what is this? They literally made a point to like show us it and be like, this is this thing and this has history and I can't remember it, but
it's cute.
It's cute. So that's pretty cool. And also the VIP room, we got to go in because they were showing us around the building and it was just really cool. It was really big. Fancy. It's bigger than ours.
Oh, so
actually.
It's like all wood. It's like really wood. It's like all wooden inside. And it's all
and there's loads of paintings.
And it's also like kind of like secret. It's almost like secret entrances and exits for it as well. It's like
it's got a few doors and there's a toilet in there, I think, isn't it?
Yes.
But yeah, it's really cool. And there's like a bench thing in the middle.
Yeah.
Am I thinking the wrong place?
Round. There was a chandelier that went through that as well. There's a little like.
Was that?
Yeah.
Huh. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Ours is a lot smaller at the Sundown, but it's a smaller theatre. The VP is huge.
Yanks.
So
our next thing is the Apollo Theatre and the Shaftesbury Theatre. These two theatres, not famously, but the Apollo Theatre more famously, had their ceiling fell through.
Just died.
This happened during a show of what show was there? Curious Incident at the Dawn at Night Time. I remember that one because it was quite recent. And so the roof caved in. Luckily, the staff are well trained, so we know what to do in that situation.
Do we?
Apparently so.
They did.
They did.
We didn't.
I don't think anyone died. I think people were injured, but no one died, which is great. And because, as I was saying earlier, our theatres are quite old.
As in all West End theatres, not like our theatres.
No, but lots of theatres are really, really old. And when they redid our theatre, the Sunshine Theatre, before we opened, they redid the ceiling to give it some more support.
Yeah, to make sure.
Because we don't want the risk of that ever happening.
Oh, it'd be horrendous. Could you imagine you're just watching a show and then the ceiling falls down? You're like, oh, okay, great.
So imagine that chandelier just dropping. It would literally be a Phantom of the Opera, but real life.
It would be. I mean, it's not funny, but yeah, that'd be horrendous. It would just fall into the stalls. Everyone, the people in the front, like 5 rows of the stalls would not have a chance.
No.
If that chandelier went, it would go.
It would, yeah.
But the Apollo.
So the Apollo Theatre, I don't really know much about the Shaftesbury one.
It had a massive refurb before Juliet went in, didn't it?
I think so.
Well, that might be wrong, but it definitely had a refurb, which is probably because of
one of the big, yeah. But the Apollo didn't really do a refurb. They just kind of rebuilt a ceiling and then it's like, so if you ever go to, it's got Jamie in it currently. Everyone's talking about Jamie. So if you ever go see it once we open up again, have a look upwards. You'll see this really nice, pretty painting on it's like cloth,
like stars. Yeah.
They used to have a balcony above that. But
there used to be 4 levels of seats. How insane is that?
It only has 3 now because they lost the upper level and they can't really bother to fix it.
You can see around the edge where the sheet is. You can kind of see where the seats
kind of. See the padded bits.
Yeah, you can see the padded bits, which is pretty
weird
to look at. But I didn't notice
there's no obvious stairs up there either. The stairs just kind of stop.
There's probably a doorway that was blocked off, so you can't get up there.
True. Anyway, so there's that for you.
The next one, I mean, are we going to talk about that now or later?
We'll leave that for a later pod.
Okay. Okay, so the last theatre, Mark found this fact. Mark found this fact out. It's the Savoy Theatre. Hello, plane. The Savoy Theatre in London, which is on the Strand, and it's where 9 to 5
currently is.
Is it closed?
I don't know.
We're not sure.
But it's there currently.
It's currently there. Yeah, so it opened in... You're right. It opened in 1881, and it was the first public building to be lit entirely by electricity.
That is correct.
Instead of gas lamps, I would assume, on the walls with the flames.
But also, another quick fucking fact about the theatre is it's built under the swimming pool in the Savoy Hotel, which is like literally adjacent to the theatre.
You wouldn't know necessarily there's a theatre there until you like get to the road and you're like,
literally. So the stage, this underneath this, above the stage, so above the actual stage is where the swimming pool is. So if you're ever up in the Grand, you're not the Grand, well actually the Grand, the roof swoops down real quick because it has to get down low enough for the swimming pool.
How crazy is that
if you go up high enough in the Grand, you literally can't see the stage because the roof swoops down so much. I found that out the hard way.
So don't sit up there for 9 to 5 then?
Or any show.
Where were we?
We were stalls.
Whoa, we were stalls. We got rush tickets.
We got rush tickets, like £25. But so that's built under the swimming pool, which has led to many stresses in its theatre's history of the swimming pool leaking and water falling down onto stage.
That is another thing.
In a large capacity as well.
That is known.
It's raining on stage.
It's called raining on stage, yeah. So because they are old buildings, sometimes if we have a horrendous storm and it's super wet and disgusting, yeah, the ceiling just leaks onto the stage and it gets really wet. That happened one day with Les Mis, and we were like, is it going to be on? Is the show on today?
Yeah.
And they just had to like mop it up and like proper make sure it was dry, because people are running and dancing on stage.
Also lights as well, they don't want any lights to be broken.
Exploding, yeah. So you don't want your actors falling over
and dying
when they're on stage, because that would, I mean, Les Mis just wouldn't be the same if Jean Valjean and Javert were doing like the confrontation.
Oh my God,
and they're like, whoop!
Just out through
I mean, it'd be really funny,
gone.
but like, it's not the same,
it's not
is it?
safe
Let's be
either.
real. Yeah, safety things. Woo!
I thought you
She's
know what,
gone.
let's talk about this. Let's talk about the other one, just because
Okay.
it's
been
going to be a long
short
time to really
episode.
talk about.
Okay, so we're going to expand on this more. We're thinking of doing like a Halloween-y episode of like spooky things.
Spooky wooky things. Once again, because these theatres really are old, lots of them have said they're haunted.
And superstitions in theatre as well, I think, should be included in
Yeah.
that, because there's little things, you know.
There is lots of like superstitions, like can't say. Oh, it's fine. No one's going to remember.
Macbeth.
So, like, you can't say that word in theatres because it's really bad luck. You also should say break a leg to people making their first show.
I mean, you don't need to tell them everything.
I know, but it's just a fun fact that you should know.
Okay.
I just got wet.
It's raining.
I might
Okay.
have got hit by a stick, I'm not sure. Anyway, carry on.
So yeah, the one that we've got written down here is like the most famous one. It's the oldest theatre in London.
Yeah.
Drury Lane.
Theatre Royal, Drury Lane.
Theatre Royal Drury Lane, which one is being refurbished right now for Frozen,
Jinx.
but two, it's where Cameron Mackintosh had his first like theatre job. He was a stagehand there back in, I don't know. I don't want to say a year because I don't know. He was born in 43, I think. That might be wrong. Yeah, 46. No, 46. It's similar to my granddad. I think he was born in 1946. So I think in the early 60s, Cameron Mackintosh, right, there was a stagehand. Not important. So Theatre Royal Drury Lane.
It's a really big theatre. I've seen lots of shows there, like
Charlie
and Shrek.
I've never been, but I will be for Frozen when it opens. But yeah, it's said to be very haunted.
It has like up to like 20 ghosts.
Is that the one where there's a certain seat, or is that the palace?
The palace.
Oh, okay. We'll leave that for the haunted episode then.
Yeah.
What is the specific like story with the Drury Lane? I swear there was that guy.
Oh yes, because we watched this documentary about it where this medium went in.
It was like a ghost.
It was a ghost hunt thing. It was really cool. So if you want to watch it afterwards,
made me laugh,
it was.
He got possessed, and it was just a bit weird.
It was a very weird. Like, I want to believe it's true, but it was a bit weird. So we don't know. But yeah. So apparently this guy got killed by their castmate.
Was that it?
Or something like that. But I remember there was another ghost, it was a really nice one, and on people's opening nights, or if they're on for their understudy or a swing, this ghost comes along and helps them get into position, and like lots of people have said they felt this ghost come along and like, help push them or like put them in the right position for the scene.
Oh, there was also the one they thought they saw like they were walking in the foyer or where there's some stairs, and they thought they saw someone with like chains.
Yes.
Yeah, like walking up the stairs. I've got really itchy eyebrow. Oh, that hurt. Yeah, with chains like on the ankles, I guess. So like a prisoner maybe. Don't know, but yeah, it was quite a good documentary.
Spooky wooky, so I recommend watching it. I won't put a link.
I was just gonna find. It's fine. It's still going. I was just gonna see if I can find it. Yeah, it is. Okay.
So whilst Lottie's finding the video, what's some of your guys' favourite theatres out in the West End or in the world? I want to know. We're very lucky to have lots of really pretty theatres in the Londons. In the West End, and yeah, it's a really cool. Also, fun fact for you, the White House has its own theatre inside.
Does it really? Yeah. Like theatre? Because Americans call it a movie theatre, don't they? The cinema.
No, like an actual full-fledged theatre.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, so the documentary, we're going to link it below. I've copied the link. It's called Most Haunted Unseen Drury Lane Theatre. I won't click on it. It's like on someone's random account. It's not like a BBC or whatever. But it was a real documentary, like on the TV. But yeah, Most Haunted Unseen, Drury Lane. So we'll link that below. Yeah. In the on the YouTube thing. I was gonna say don't know.
Cool. So that's for you.
That episode.
We're not quite yet.
I mean,
we're quite
It's fine.
far away.
There hasn't been many fluff ups, so it's fine. We don't have to be cutting out much, so it'll probably be this long anyway. We're a bit of a shorter episode this week.
I'm really sorry. We should have thought about more theatres because I didn't know how long we'd be talking about them. But yeah, let us know your favourite theatres.
Yep.
And tell us anything you like about other theatres. And if you have any other fun facts that you can do episode 2 of this, let us know.
Yeah.
And also follow us on our Twitter. We didn't make it in our first one.
Oh yes.
But we have our Twitter
I have the
now.
actual handle. Right. Shenanigan_pod is our Twitter.
Yeah.
And Showtime_shenanigans with an S is the Instagram. So follow us on those. Tweet us where you listen to the podcast, what you're doing, what you're up to.
Yeah.
Fun things you want us to talk about.
Also subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, subscribe, like it. If you're listening to
Comment.
this, like as well. I think you can like.
I don't know. We're not quite sure. I think you can do reviews somewhere.
Just share us. Do all you can to make us feel the love of you guys. 'Cause that'd be lovely.
And also, I mean, this is a bit far-fetched, but in the future, we do want to do some interviews. So, comment or tweet or whatever, like, at us, not other people, but maybe suggest people that you might want to have as a guest. Obviously, because we're in quarantine, we won't be able to, like, actually have them here, but we're going to try and figure out, like, if we can Skype them and be like,
or
stuff like that. You right?
Share us with your friends. Let your friends know about
Yes.
us. Tell them all that we exist because we would love to have you on board with us.
Yeah.
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 I can't say much else, but I hope you guys have a great day. And if you're listening to if you're like catching up on podcasts, enjoy our next one.
Yeah.
And if you're sleeping,
Good night.
sleep tight. Don't let the pigs bug bite.
I'm really sorry for that. Anyway, we're going to go. See you later.
See you later.
Adios.
Bye. Stay safe. Enjoy theatres.